Life is a journey filled with relationships, connections, and experiences that shape who we are. Along the way, people enter our lives with promises, intentions, and words that sound good at the moment. But as time unfolds, we begin to see their true nature, their real motives, and their actions, which speak louder than any words ever could. There are people who took you for granted. They walked away when you needed them the most. They betrayed your trust, hurt your heart, and made you question your own worth. But now time has passed. Seasons have changed. You have grown. And suddenly, they want another chance with you. What do you do when someone who once dismissed you, ignored you, or even mistreated you comes back asking for another opportunity? Do you open the door again? Do you welcome them with open arms, hoping they have changed? Or do you protect what you have built and move forward? There's a principle in life that must never be ignored. A person's true character is revealed in how they treat you when they think they no longer need you. If they could walk away when you were at your lowest, if they could betray you when they had your trust, if they could overlook your value when you were present, what makes you think they suddenly see your worth now? Regret is not the same as transformation. Many people return, not because they have changed, but because they lost the benefits of having you in their life. They return because they see you thriving without them, and their ego cannot handle it. They return because they thought they could replace you, but they learned the hard way that you were one of a kind. You must be careful with the doors you reopen. Some people don't want another chance to love you, respect you, or honor you. They just want another opportunity to use you, to drain you, and to waste your time again. Wisdom does not operate on emotions. It discerns intentions. It recognizes patterns. It sees beyond words and examines actions. If someone truly values you, they would not have risked losing you in the first place. If they understood your worth, they would not have treated you as an option. Love, respect, and loyalty are not things you should have to beg for. You are not an afterthought. You are not a backup plan. You are not someone's second choice. Forgiveness is powerful, but forgiveness does not mean re-entry. You can forgive someone and still choose to move forward without them. You can release bitterness and still set boundaries. You can love someone from a distance and still protect yourself from their unhealthy pattern. You must ask yourself, does this person deserve access to me again? Have they truly changed, or are they only returning because life humbled them? Are they seeking another chance because they value me, or because they need something from me? You have a responsibility to guard your heart. Do not allow temporary loneliness to make you reconnect with people you once prayed to be free from. Do not allow your compassion to blind you to the lessons you have learned. Not everyone who returns should be welcomed back. Some people are meant to stay in the past because that is where their role in your story ended. When someone asks for another chance, let your decision be guided by wisdom, not sentiment. Some bridges need to remain burned. Some doors need to stay closed. And some chapters must never be reopened, because your future is too valuable to be sacrificed for a past that did not honor you when it had the chance. Life has a way of revealing the true nature of people, not in moments of ease, but in times of change. A person's real character is not shown when everything is going well, when they need something from you, or when you are beneficial to them. It is revealed in how they treat you when they believe they no longer need you. This is when their loyalty is tested, their respect is proven, and their intentions are made clear. Some people are kind, supportive, and attentive as long as they are benefiting from you. They smile in your presence, speak well of you, and pretend to care, but only because they see you as a source of something they desire. The moment they think they no longer need you, their attitude shifts. They stop calling, they stop checking in, and their words become cold. Some even betray, disrespect, or dismiss you without hesitation, thinking they will never need you again. That is why it is dangerous to measure someone's loyalty only by how they treat you in good times. There are people who will celebrate with you but abandon you when you struggle. There are people who will enjoy the rewards of your friendship, your love, or your presence, but disappear the moment challenges arise. When you are down, when you have nothing to offer, when you are no longer useful to them, their true self emerges. They walk away as if you never mattered. Then life takes a turn. You grow, you heal, you rise again, and suddenly they remember you. The same people who left you behind, who ignored your pain, who chose others over you, now find their way back, asking for another chance. But you must ask yourself, did they return because they truly value you, or because life humbled them? Do they see your worth now, or do they only miss what they used to get from you? A person's true nature is revealed not just in how they treat you when they need you, but in how they treat you when they think they don't. Many people return, not because they have changed, but because life has humbled them. There is a difference between regret and transformation. Regret is rooted in loss. It is the realization that they no longer have access to the benefits they once enjoyed. Transformation, however, is a complete renewal of the mind, a change in heart, and a shift in behavior. Regret wants another chance to reclaim what was lost, but transformation seeks to do right, even if another chance is never given. When someone returns claiming they have changed, you must ask yourself, has this person truly evolved, or are they simply uncomfortable with the consequences of their actions? True change is not just about words or apologies. It is reflected in consistent behavior over time. A person who has truly transformed does not need to announce it. They show it through how they live, how they speak, and how they treat others, even when no one is watching. Many people confuse missing you with valuing you. They don't necessarily regret what they did. They regret losing their access to you. They regret the void that your absence created in their life, not the pain they caused in yours. If they could go back to the past and still keep the benefits of knowing you while making the same choices, many of them would do it again. That is why you must be careful with those who return, claiming they have changed. A changed person does not just apologize. They acknowledge the depth of their mistakes. They take responsibility without excuses. They show through their actions that they are no longer who they used to be. But if someone is only returning because they see you thriving, if their change is only motivated by what they stand to gain, then it is not true transformation. It is simply regret masters growth. There is a reason why wisdom teaches us to observe, not just listen. Because words can deceive, but actions never lie. Not every door that was once open should be opened again. Not every person who walks away deserves an invitation to return. Some people leave your life for a reason, and when they come back, it is not always because they have changed. It is because they have lost something they once had access to. This is why you must be careful with the doors you reopen. Some people do not return because they love you, respect you, or genuinely want to do right by you. They return because life has humbled them. They return because the replacement they thought was better than you failed them. They return because they lost the security, the peace, the kindness, and the benefits they once received from you. It is not always about valuing you. It is often about seeking comfort for themselves. If someone truly sees your worth now, why didn't they see it before? If they are ready to treat you right today, why weren't they willing to do it when they had the chance? These are the questions you must ask before reopening doors that were closed for a reason, because when someone shows you who they are, believe them. If they could walk away before, if they could betray, disrespect, or take you for granted once, what makes you believe they won't do it again? Some people only want access to you not because they are ready to honor you, but because they want to see if they still have power over you. They want to test if they can still manipulate you, if they can still get the same benefits without any consequences. That is why wisdom does not act on emotion, it acts on discernment. It does not just see what is being presented, it looks beyond the surface to understand the true motive behind the return. You must guard your peace, your energy, and your heart. If someone was willing to break you, they should not be trusted to heal you. If someone was careless enough to lose you, they should not be given easy access to you again. Not all returns are sincere. Not all apologies come from a place of true remorse. And not all people deserve another chance to prove what they already failed to honor the first time. Love, respect, and loyalty should never be begged for. What is truly meant for you will not require you to lower your standards, plead for attention, or tolerate mistreatment just to keep someone in your life. The greatest mistake you can make is believing that if you give more, tolerate more, or sacrifice more, someone will finally see your worth. But the truth is, if they did not see your value when you were given your best, they will not suddenly recognize it just because you continue to allow them to mistreat you. Real love does not require convincing. True loyalty does not need to be forced. If someone genuinely cares, you will not have to chase them, question their intentions, or constantly remind them of your worth. A person who truly values you will not put you in a position where you feel ignored, unwanted, or uncertain about where you stand in their life. If someone had to lose you to realize what you meant to them, then they never really valued you. They only valued the comfort of having you around. When a person sees your worth, they will not risk losing you. They will not gamble with your heart, disrespect your presence, or make you feel like an option. They will honor you in your presence and respect you even in your absence. But when someone makes you feel like you must constantly prove yourself, earn their love, or fight for their attention, they are showing you that they never truly valued you in the first place. And if they did not appreciate you when they had you, what makes you believe they will honor you now that they want another chance? You must know your worth so deeply that you never accept treatment that is beneath you. You must be so confident in who you are that you would rather walk alone in dignity than stay in a place where your love, kindness, and loyalty are taken for granted. When someone truly sees your value, you will never have to fight for their presence. They will choose you, not out of convenience, not because they lost something else, but because they genuinely recognize your worth and are willing to honor it. Time does not change people, intentions do. Just because someone has been away for a while does not mean they have changed. Just because life has humbled them does not mean their heart has transformed. Some people return not because they have become better, but because they lost the comfort they once had with you. They come back not out of love, but out of convenience. This is why you must be careful not to mistake time apart for true growth. A person's true character is not measured by how much time has passed, but by what they have done with that time. Did they reflect on their mistakes, acknowledge their wrongs, and work on becoming better? Or did they simply move from one situation to another, only to return because their options ran out? True change is not in words, apologies, or empty promises. It is in consistent actions. And if someone has truly changed, they will not need to convince you with speeches. Their life will show it. Many people believe that time erases damage, that if enough time has passed, the pain they caused, the betrayal they committed, or the neglect they showed will somehow be forgotten. But time does not erase wounds. Only genuine transformation, accountability, and effort can. If someone believes they deserve another chance simply because enough time has passed, they have not truly understood the weight of their actions. They want reconciliation without accountability, forgiveness without transformation, and access without proving they are different. You must observe, not just listen. Do not let the passing of time blind you to reality. A person who truly regrets their actions does not just wait for time to soften your heart. They take responsibility, they change, they make amends. But if someone simply disappears, only to return when it is convenient for them, they are not seeking reconciliation. They are seeking restoration of benefits. And if their return is based on what they can gain rather than how they can give, then nothing has truly changed. Forgiveness is a gift, but access is a privilege. Just because you forgive someone does not mean they are entitled to a place in your life again. Forgiveness is for your peace, your freedom, your healing. It is the release of resentment, the refusal to allow bitterness to take root in your heart. But reconciliation is not the same as forgiveness. Reconciliation requires trust, and trust is built on proof, not just words. True repentance is more than words. It is action. It is consistency. It is humility. If someone has truly changed, they will not pressure you to trust them again. They will prove through their actions that they are worthy of it. They will respect your boundaries. They will understand your hesitation, and they will show over time that they are different. But if someone demands access simply because you forgave them, they are not seeking to make things right. They are seeking to regain control. Wisdom does not make decisions based on emotions alone. It does not give second chances simply because someone expresses regret. It observes, it tests, it discerns. And if the same patterns, the same excuses, and the same manipulations appear, then wisdom knows that forgiveness does not require restoration. You can love people from a distance. You can pray for them, release them, and wish them well without letting them disrupt your peace again. A person who truly values you will not have to lose you to appreciate you. They will see your worth while they have you, honor your presence, and treat you with the respect you deserve. But when someone leaves, mistreats you, or replaces you without hesitation, and then comes back when things do not work out as they planned, they are not seeking reconciliation. They are seeking restoration of benefits. They do not want to make things right. They want to regain what they lost for their own convenience. You must recognize the difference between genuine love and selfish need. Genuine love values you as a person, not just what you provide. But selfish need sees you as a source of supply. It seeks to use, to take, to drain, until it no longer benefits from you, and then it repeats the cycle again. That is why discernment is crucial. You must ask yourself, are they returning because they truly want to honor and respect you, or are they returning because they lost access to what they once had? People who come back only because life has become difficult for them will often make temporary efforts to regain your trust. They will say the right words, do the right things, and make you believe they have changed. But the moment they feel comfortable again, the old patterns will return. If someone only realizes your value after losing you, it is not appreciation, it is regret. And regret is not the same as transformation. True appreciation does not come from loss. It comes from recognition while you are still present. Respect is not just about words. It is about actions. A person who truly respects you will not treat you as an option, disregard your feelings, or take your presence for granted. Respect is demonstrated in consistency, in accountability, in how a person values you, even when you are not around. But when someone disrespects you, disregards your worth, and then later asks for another chance, you must ask yourself, do they truly respect me now, or do they simply miss what I provided? Some people come back not because they have learned to respect you, but because they have lost access to what they once enjoyed. They do not miss you. They miss the benefits that came with you. They miss your patience, your kindness, your generosity, your love. They miss the way you sacrificed for them, the way you tolerated things no one else would. They miss the ease with which they could treat you poorly and still receive your loyalty. But that is not respect, that is entitlement. And entitlement is dangerous because it convinces a person that they can mistreat you and still expect access to your life. Respect is proven in how a person handles your absence. Do they reflect on their mistakes, acknowledge where they went wrong, and genuinely change? Or do they only return when life gets hard for them? Some people are not seeking to rebuild a healthy relationship with you. They are seeking to regain control over what they once had. A person who truly respects you will not just apologize. They will prove their change through consistent effort, through accountability, through a willingness to accept whatever decision you make without pressuring you. Many people confuse regret with respect. Regret is about their feelings. It is about their loss, their pain, their inconvenience. But respect is about you. It is about valuing your presence, honoring your boundaries, and proving over time that they are worthy of a second chance. If someone only comes back when they feel the loss, but did not respect you when they had you, then their return is not a sign of love. It is a sign of self-interest. And wisdom teaches that respect is not demanded, it is earned. If a person did not respect you before, it is not your responsibility to give them another chance to prove it now. Consistency is the greatest evidence of true change. A person who has truly transformed does not just display temporary efforts to regain your trust. They show steady, unwavering proof over time. But many people return with apologies and promises, hoping that their words will be enough to erase the past. They say, "I've changed." Yet their actions tell a different story. They show kindness for a moment, patience for a season, but the moment they feel comfortable again, the old patterns begin to emerge. Change is not a declaration, it is a lifestyle. It is seen in how a person behaves when they have nothing to gain. It is evident in how they treat others, not just in how they try to convince you. If someone has truly changed, they will not need to pressure you into believing them. Their transformation will speak for itself. They will not rush you into trusting them again. They will allow time to reveal the truth. But when a person becomes frustrated because you do not immediately open the door for them, it is a sign that their change is not deep. It is surface level, driven by a need rather than by a renewed heart. Many people mistake momentary effort for lasting transformation. They think that because someone is acting differently for a short while, it means they have truly changed. But real change is proven in the long run. A person who has truly been transformed will not only be different when they are trying to win you back, they will remain different even when they believe they no longer need to prove anything. True change is not dependent on circumstances. It is rooted in a renewed character. Time reveals all things. If someone's change is genuine, time will confirm it. But if their change is an act, time will expose it. Wisdom does not make decisions based on emotions, temporary gestures, or sweet words. It watches, it tests, it discerns. And if a person is only different when they need something from you, then their change is not real. It is a strategy. And wisdom teaches that temporary change should never be mistaken for true transformation. Peace is the greatest indicator of whether someone should be allowed back into your life. When you think about them, do you feel peace or do you feel anxiety? When you consider giving them another chance, does your spirit feel at rest or do you feel a weight in your heart? Peace is not just the absence of conflict. It is the presence of clarity. It is the deep knowing that something is right without confusion, without doubt, without the need to convince yourself otherwise. Some people return, and the moment they do, your peace is disturbed. You begin to feel unsettled, questioning their motives, replaying past events, wondering if things will truly be different this time. That is not peace. That is your spirit recognizing something is not right. True reconciliation does not require you to silence your discernment or ignore the warnings in your heart. When something is of God, it will come with confirmation, not confusion. It will bring peace, not pressure. It will align with wisdom, not just emotions. Many people have ignored their lack of peace only to find themselves back in the same cycle of disappointment. They gave someone another chance because they felt guilty, because they were lonely, because they wanted to believe the best in them. But peace is not built on emotions alone. It is built on truth. If someone truly belongs in your life, again, peace will follow that decision. But if every time you think of allowing them back in, your heart feels heavy, that is a sign that wisdom is warning you. Nothing is worth the cost of your peace. Not guilt, not nostalgia, not even an apology. An apology is only the beginning. It is not the proof of transformation. Many people apologize, but few change. Many say they are sorry, but few truly understand the weight of their actions. Wisdom teaches that peace is more valuable than history. Just because you shared a past with someone does not mean you are obligated to share a future. If restoring that relationship costs you your peace, then it is too expensive. And wisdom always chooses peace over the temporary comfort of familiar company. You have the power to decide who has access to your life. Not everyone who comes back deserves a second chance. True change is proven over time. Respect is demonstrated through actions, and peace is the greatest confirmation of whether someone belongs in your life again. Do not let guilt, loneliness, or sweet words override your wisdom. Just because someone regrets losing you does not mean they have changed. Just because they miss what you provided does not mean they truly value you. Your heart is too valuable to be played with. Your peace is too precious to be disturbed. Your life is too important to be placed in the hands of someone who only realized your worth after losing you. If someone truly respects you, they will honor your boundaries. If they have truly changed, time will reveal it. And if they are truly meant to be in your life, peace will confirm it. Never settle for temporary emotions over lasting wisdom. Guard your heart, protect your peace, and remember, some people want another chance, not because they love you, but because they lost their source of comfort. Be wise enough to know the difference. Life has a way of testing you in ways you never imagined. There will be moments when everything you've worked for, everything you've loved, seems to be slipping away. People you trusted may turn their backs on you, and circumstances may conspire to leave you standing alone. But let me remind you, your value is not tied to what you own, nor is your worth defined by who stands with you in the easy times. True strength is revealed when the storm comes and all seems to be stripped away. And when they try to take everything from you, what they don't realize is that they are uncovering the core of who you are. They may take your possessions, but they cannot take your purpose. They may take your relationships, but they cannot take your resilience. They may try to destroy your dreams, but they cannot touch the source of those dreams. For deep within you lies a divine deposit, a treasure that cannot be diminished by external losses. So, you see, when the world tries to take everything from you, it is not a sign of your defeat, it's an opportunity for renewal. Gold is refined in the fire, and diamonds are formed under pressure. In the same way, trials don't destroy the person who understands their true essence. They refine you, making you stronger, wiser, and more focused. In those moments of loss, you must ask yourself, what truly matters? Is it the things you've accumulated? Is it the approval of others, or is it the deeper purpose for which you were created? When you realize that your purpose is untouched by external circumstances, you step into a power that no one can take from you. Let them think they've won when they strip you of material things. Let them think they've silenced you when they try to discredit you. What they don't see is that every attempt to diminish you is fueling your growth. Every setback is positioning you for a comeback. Every loss is a stepping stone to a greater gain. So stand firm. Your life is not defined by what others can take. It is defined by what you choose to build, even in the face of loss. So rise above the attempts to diminish you. Walk boldly into your future, knowing that nothing and no one can take away what was placed in you by a higher calling. When they try to take everything from you, let them take what they will, but never let them take your spirit, your purpose, or your vision. These are the things that will carry you through, and in the end, they will see that what they tried to destroy only made you stronger. There will come moments in life when the storms seem relentless, stripping away the things you thought defined your stability. In those times, you might feel overwhelmed, as though the ground beneath your feet is shaking and there's nothing left to hold on to. But it's precisely in these moments of testing that your true strength is revealed. Strength isn't found in avoiding adversity. It's forged in the midst of it. The challenges you face are not there to destroy you, but to uncover the resilience you didn't even know you had. When the winds blow and the waves rise, you begin to see what you're truly made of. It's easy to stand firm when everything is going well, but real strength shows up when the pressure is at its peak. It's in those moments when you are stripped of what is temporary that you discover the eternal within you. The temporary things of life may crumble, but the core of who you are, the essence of your being, remains unshaken. Those who try to take from you believe they are weakening you, but in reality, they are giving you an opportunity to dig deeper, to find the unshakable foundation that cannot be moved by external circumstances. Strength doesn't come from clinging to what you've accumulated or the opinions of others. It comes from understanding that your value is intrinsic, that your foundation is rooted in something far greater than what can be touched or taken away. Adversity may come to test you, but it does not define you. It is merely a mirror reflecting your ability to endure, to rise, and to persevere. Strength is not loud or boastful. It's quiet, steady, and resilient. It's what allows you to stand when everything around you is falling apart. When the world sees loss, you see an opportunity to grow, to rebuild, and to emerge stronger than before. So when you face those who try to strip you of everything, know this: they are not uncovering your weakness, they are revealing your strength. It is not about what you lose. It is about what you discover within yourself during the process. And what you discover will carry you further than anything you've ever held on to in the past. When they try to take everything from you, they may think they are stripping away your worth, but they fail to understand that your value is not tied to what you possess. Your worth is not in the car you drive, the house you live in, or the accolades you have collected over the years. Those are surface level reflections of success, but they are not the source of it. What makes you valuable is something much deeper, something that no one can see, touch, or take away. It is the essence of who you are, the divine purpose that was placed within you before you even took your first breath. This purpose, this core of your being, is not subject to the opinions of others or the fleeting nature of material things. You are created with intention, designed with a plan that cannot be undone by human hands. The value you carry is woven into your very existence. It does not fluctuate with the rise and fall of your possessions or relationships. When others take away what's visible, all they are doing is exposing what's invisible, yet far more powerful. The world often measures worth by what can be counted, weighed, or displayed. But the truth is that the most significant parts of you cannot be measured at all. Your creativity, your resilience, your ability to love, to hope, to dream, these are the things that make you who you are, and they are untouchable. Even in your lowest moment, when it feels like everything is being stripped away, the essence of your value remains intact. People may walk away, opportunities may slip through your fingers, and possessions may be taken. But none of these things have the power to diminish your intrinsic worth. What they fail to realize is that by attempting to take everything, they are giving you the chance to rediscover the foundation of your being. When all the distractions are gone, you are left with the undeniable truth of who you are and the unshakable purpose for which you were created. When they try to define you by what you've lost, remind yourself that your value has never been tied to what's external. You are more than the sum of your achievements and possessions. You are a masterpiece in progress, a vessel of purpose, and nothing, no loss, no betrayal, no challenge can alter that truth. When the pressures of life mount and it feels as if everything is closing in around you, it is not the end, but the beginning of something greater. Trials and challenges do not come to break you. They come to refine you. Just as gold must pass through fire to be purified, your life's greatest strength and beauty are revealed through adversity. That's how you become strong. The fire of difficulty burns away the excess, the unnecessary, the things that no longer serve your purpose, leaving behind only what is pure and essential. The eagle leaves behind leaves. It is in the heat of these moments that your character is forged. Diamonds do not form in ease. They are created under immense pressure. In the same way, the difficulties you face are shaping you into something extraordinary, something that can withstand the weight of destiny. Without the pressure, without the fire, you would never know the depths of your own resilience. The refining process is not comfortable and it is not quick. It will test your patience, your endurance, and your faith. But every moment of that process is necessary because it is preparing you for the greater things ahead. If you resist the process, you miss the opportunity to grow, to become the person you were always meant to be. Growth does not come from avoiding pain. It comes from walking through it, learning from it, and emerging stronger on the other side. When others try to take everything from you, they might believe they are weakening you. In reality, they are only accelerating your refinement. They are unintentionally pushing you into the fire where your true essence can be revealed. What they see as destruction, you should recognize as transformation. Has Chet? The trials are not there to destroy you, they are there to prepare you. Every moment of pain is adding strength to your foundation. Every betrayal is teaching you discernment. Every loss is creating space for something greater. Just as the fire purifies gold and pressure perfects a diamond, your challenges are making you into something far more valuable than you were before. You may not feel it in the moment, but the refining process is a gift. It strips away what is temporary and leaves behind what is eternal. And when you come through the fire, you will not just survive, you will shine. What they meant for harm will only serve to highlight the greatness within you. A greatness that no fire, no pressure, and no challenge can ever destroy. When they try to take everything from you, they are laboring under the illusion that they can diminish who you are. But what they fail to grasp is that your purpose is untouchable. It is not something that can be stolen, lost, or destroyed because it is not rooted in the external things they aim to take away. Your purpose is divine, eternal, and deeply rooted in your being. No human hand can reach it. No betrayal can alter it, and no failure can extinguish it. Purpose is not a fleeting idea tied to material success or public approval. It is the reason you were created, the unique calling that only you can fulfill. Even when the storms of life strip away everything else, your purpose remains untouched, waiting for you to stand up again and walk forward with renewed determination. It does not waver with circumstances. It remains steadfast, guiding you even when the path seems unclear. When they take away your possessions, they are only removing the surface distractions. When they speak against you or try to discredit you, they are only clearing the stage for the real you to emerge. Purpose does not depend on what you have. It depends on who you are and who you were created to become. You carry within you something far greater than anything the world can give or take away. Edward Eric. Edward Eric, one can go from the missionary plantation to the world of business to Babel. Your purpose is a source of strength in the midst of trials. It whispers to you in your darkest moments, reminding you that you are not defined by your circumstances. It is the compass that keeps you moving forward when others expect you to give up. And here's the truth. The harder life presses against you, the more clearly your purpose comes into focus. It is in the moments when you feel most broken that your purpose shines the brightest, calling you to rise again, stronger than before. No one can take away what was placed in you by a higher power. They may try to derail you, but they cannot disrupt the destiny for which you were created. They may think they are destroying you, but in truth, they are only revealing the indestructible essence of your being. Your purpose is not a fragile thing. It is resilient, unyielding, and eternal. So when the world takes its best shot, stand firm in the knowledge that your purpose is beyond their reach. It is the one thing that cannot be shaken, the treasure they cannot steal. And as long as you stay connected to that purpose, you will rise above every loss, every attack, and every challenge, walking boldly into the life you were meant to live. So when they try to take everything from you, it forces you to pause and reflect on what truly matters. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of life, to pour your energy into chasing after things that seem important but in reality are fleeting. Loss has a way of stripping away illusions and distractions, leaving you with a clear view of the foundation of your life. In the absence of what you thought you needed, you begin to see what you truly cannot live without. When everything else is gone, the things that remain are the things that truly matter. Your faith, your purpose, your relationships, and your character. These are the pillars that sustain you, the anchors that keep you steady in the storm. Loss does not diminish these things. Instead, it highlights them, showing you where your strength really comes from. In those moments of loss, you are given the opportunity to realign your priorities. You begin to realize that the things you once chased so relentlessly may not have been as significant as you believed. The approval of others, the accumulation of possessions, the fleeting sense of security, they are all temporary. But the things that truly matter, the things that define your life and your legacy, cannot be bought or sold. A loss is a teacher, and its lesson is clarity. It teaches you to focus on what is eternal, on the things that cannot be taken from you. It shows you that your identity is not tied to what you have, but to who you are. When everything is stripped away, you discover that your core remains untouched. And that core is where your true strength and value reside. This clarity also brings freedom. When you stop clinging to the temporary, you become free to embrace the eternal. You are no longer defined by the things you own. the titles you hold, or the roles you play. Instead, you are defined by your purpose, your vision, and your faith. Loss has a way of breaking the chains of materialism and ego, allowing you to walk forward with a renewed sense of purpose and direction. So when they try to take everything, let them. Not because you are weak, but because you know that what truly matters cannot be taken. And in that moment of clarity, you will stand taller, knowing that you are anchored in what is eternal, and nothing, no loss, no attack, no challenge can move you from that foundation. When they try to take everything from you, they believe they are weakening you, but in reality, they are creating the space for something greater to enter your life. Sometimes what looks like loss is actually preparation for an upgrade. The things you lose are not always setbacks. Often, they are setups for the blessings that are yet to come. When a door closes, it can feel like rejection or failure, but it is often a sign that a better door is about to open. The space created by loss is not empty. It is fertile ground for new opportunities, relationships, and growth. Imagine a farmer clearing a field, not because the land is barren, but because it needs to be prepared for the next season of planting. In the same way, when things are removed from your life, it is not to leave you empty, but to prepare you for a greater harvest. This process can be painful because it often involves letting go of things you thought you needed. You may feel the sting of betrayal, the weight of failure, or the ache of separation. But what you must understand is that every loss is a part of a larger plan. The things that leave your life are often the things that no longer serve your purpose. They were there for a season, and their season has come to an end. When they take what you have, they think they're diminishing you. What they fail to realize is that by clearing your hands of what you're holding, they are making room for you to receive something far greater. You cannot grab hold of the new while clinging to the old. Sometimes it takes loss to loosen your grip on what is holding you back. The universe of divine design operates on the principle of exchange. For every loss, there is a gain. For every door that closes, another one opens. The pain of losing something now is often the price you pay for the joy of receiving something better later. Trust that what is coming is greater than what has gone. Trust that every loss is a part of the process of elevation. They may think they've defeated you by taking what you have, but they are only setting the stage for your comeback. The emptiness they create is the canvas on which your new beginning will be painted. What is coming is not just a replacement, but an elevation, a step forward into a new season of abundance, purpose, and fulfillment. The loss is not the end. It is the beginning of something extraordinary. When they try to take everything from you, their intention may be to break your spirit or destroy your confidence, but what they fail to understand is that your greatest victories are born in moments of struggle. Adversity does not define you, it refines you. And the strength that emerges from these moments of trial is a strength that cannot be shaken. Challenges are not obstacles to stop you. They are opportunities to prove what you're made of. The very act of trying to strip you of everything becomes the catalyst for your growth. Just like a tree that grows stronger as it withstands fierce winds, you are being fortified by the storms you face. They're building within you a resilience, a determination, and a clarity of purpose that can only come through enduring hardship. When you are left with nothing but yourself, that is when you discover the untapped power within. It's in the moments when you feel most abandoned and broken that you learn to rely not on external things, but on the inner reserves of strength, courage, and faith that have always been there. You begin to realize that true power is not something that comes from what you possess, but from who you are becoming in the process. The challenges they place before you are not your downfall, they are your training ground. Every difficulty you overcome is sharpening your skills, strengthening your resolve, and teaching you lessons that prepare you for the next level. It is in these moments of struggle that you build the capacity to handle the blessings and responsibilities that are waiting for you on the other side of the trial. Without the struggle, you would not be ready for the greatness that lies ahead. The adversity also teaches you to be resourceful. When what you once relied on is taken away, you are forced to think differently, to innovate, and to discover new ways to move forward. These lessons are invaluable as they prepare you not just to survive, but to thrive in any situation. The strength you gain through adversity becomes a part of you, a strength that no one can ever take away. When they try to take everything, they underestimate the power of a person who has learned to rise from nothing. They don't realize that the very act of trying to weaken you only makes you stronger. You become unshakable, unbreakable, and unstoppable. The strength you gain in these moments is the foundation upon which you will build a future that is greater than anything you've ever imagined. So let them take what they will, because every loss is fueling your transformation. Every challenge is fortifying your spirit. And when you rise, as you surely will, you will carry with you a strength that no one can take, a resilience that no one can break, and a victory that will silence every doubt and opposition. When they try to take everything from you, it may feel as though they are tearing apart your life, but what they cannot see is that they are setting the stage for your reinvention. Sometimes, the greatest transformations come not in moments of comfort, but in moments of disruption. The stripping away of what you once held on to is not the end. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one that is often far greater than the last. Adversity compels you to re-evaluate, to reflect, and to rebuild. When life forces you to let go of what you thought was essential, you are given the chance to redefine yourself, your values, and your direction. You begin to see that what you once clung to may have been limiting you, keeping you in a place of comfort when you were meant to soar higher. Eagles sing. Transformation is rarely a gentle process. It is like the refining of gold, which must go through fire to emerge pure and valuable. The challenges and losses you face are that refining fire, burning away what is unnecessary, what is outdated, and what no longer serves your purpose. And while it may be painful in the moment, it is creating space for you to evolve into a stronger, wiser, and more focused version of yourself. When you are forced to start over, you have the opportunity to do so with clarity and intention. You are no longer building on shaky foundations or carrying the baggage of the past. Instead, you can lay a new foundation, one that is aligned with your highest purpose and your truest self. This is not a setback. It is a reset, a chance to begin again, but this time with the wisdom that comes from experience. When the sun rises again, bringing your imagination and your truest self, this is not a setback, it is a reset. Reinvention is not just about recovering from loss, it is about rising to a new level of existence. It is about shedding the old and stepping into the new with confidence and courage. What they take from you cannot define you, because you are not bound by what you have or where you've been. You are defined by your capacity to adapt, to grow, and to overcome. Every time they try to diminish you, they underestimate the power of renewal that lies within you. They may see loss, but you see possibility. They may see defeat, but you see a new beginning. And it is this mindset that allows you to rise from the ashes, not as the person you once were, but as the person you were always meant to be. In the process of reinvention, you find freedom. Freedom from the expectations of others, freedom from the limitations of the past, and freedom to pursue your purpose with a boldness that comes only from having faced and conquered adversity. This is the gift hidden in the loss, an opportunity to redefine not just your life, but yourself. So when they try to take everything, embrace the opportunity to reinvent yourself. Let them clear the path, because what they see as destruction is actually paving the way for your transformation. And when you emerge, you will not just be stronger, you will be unstoppable, a testament to the power of resilience and the beauty of renewal. When they try to take everything from you, they think they are stripping you of your power. But what they don't realize is that true power doesn't come from what you own or control. It comes from your ability to adapt, endure, and rise again. The attempts to rob you of your possessions, your dignity, or your stability cannot touch the essence of who you are, because your greatest resource is not external, it's internal. The darkness within. The darkness within. Now, it is the unshakable strength of your spirit, the boundless creativity of your mind, and the enduring hope in your heart. It is only a nature that lasts. They may believe they are leaving you with nothing, but what they cannot see is that you carry within you the power to create everything anew. The loss of material possessions, relationships, or opportunities may seem devastating at first, but they are only temporary. What lasts is the resilience you build in the process of overcoming. They cannot take your vision, your determination, or your faith. And these are the very tools you will use to rebuild even stronger than before. Suddenly, I found I was the only one missing, but there was no one else present to greet me. At least adversity forces you to dig deeper into your reserves of courage and strength. It challenges you to discover just how much you are capable of enduring and achieving. When everything external is stripped away, you are left face to face with yourself. And that is where true power lies. It is not in the things you have, but in the person you are becoming. This realization is both liberating and empowering because it shifts your focus from what you've lost to what you can create. Loss can also serve as a reminder of your inherent ability to overcome. Think of the times in your life when you faced what seemed like insurmountable challenges. You survived then, and you will survive now. In fact, those experiences were preparing you for this moment. Every struggle you've faced, every setback you've endured, and every victory you've achieved have contributed to the strength and wisdom you now carry. These are the intangible assets that no one can ever take from you. Moreover, when they try to take everything, they often unintentionally reveal just how powerful you are. If you want a force to be reckoned with, why would they feel the need to attack or undermine you? Their actions are a testament to your potential and your influence. Instead of feeling defeated, recognize that their attempts to weaken you are an acknowledgement of your strength. In these moments, you have a choice. You can focus on what you've lost, or you can focus on what you still have and what you can build from it. Your mind, your heart, and your spirit are more powerful than any external force. They are the wellspring of ideas, hope, and determination that will carry you forward. You are not defined by what has been taken, but by how you respond and rise above. You can decide to rebuild and make something new. The power within you is like a seed. Even if everything around you is stripped away, that seed remains ready to grow again. And here's the beauty. The growth that comes after loss is often even more fruitful because it is fueled by the lessons you've learned, and the resilience you've gained. When you rise again, you do so with a deeper understanding of your strength and a greater appreciation for what truly matters. They may think they've taken everything, but they have only set the stage for you to demonstrate the true source of your power. You are not defeated. You are not broken. You are simply being prepared for a greater victory, one that will not only restore what was lost, but multiply it in ways you never imagined. When they try to take everything from you, they believe they are leaving you with nothing. But in truth, they are overlooking the most important fact. What you possess in your heart and spirit is untouchable. Your hope, your dreams, and your belief in a better tomorrow are the treasures that cannot be stolen. These intangible gifts are what drive you to rise, to push forward, and to rebuild no matter how great the loss. Hope is a powerful force. It is the quiet whisper that says, this is not the end, even when the world around you feels like it's crumbling. Hope gives you the strength to take another step, to dream another dream, and to believe that what you are experiencing now is temporary. It reminds you that life has seasons, and just as winter gives way to spring, so too will your current trials give way to brighter days. Hope, what they fail to realize is that when you hold on to hope, you unlock the ability to envision possibilities beyond your present circumstances. Hope fuels creativity and innovation. It pushes you to think beyond limitations and imagine solutions that were not visible before. When they strip away the familiar, hope inspires you to build something entirely new, something better suited to the person you are becoming. Even in the darkest moments, hope has a way of igniting faith. Faith in your ability to endure. Faith in the goodness of life. Faith in the belief that every setback is setting the stage for a greater comeback. Hope reminds you that no matter how much is taken, there is still a path forward. There is still a reason to keep going, to keep believing, and to keep striving. Hope is also infectious. When you hold on to it, you inspire others to do the same. Your resilience becomes a beacon of light for those around you, showing them that it is possible to overcome even the greatest challenges. This is why hope is such a powerful tool. It not only sustains you, but also lifts others who may be walking a similar path. Loss has a way of stripping away illusions and revealing what truly matters. When everything external is taken, you are left with the core of who you are. And it is in that core that hope resides. It is unshakable, untouchable, and indestructible. They may take material things. They may create obstacles, but they can never extinguish the light of hope that burns within you. This hope becomes your compass, guiding you through the storm. It reminds you to focus on what you can do rather than what has been done to you. It gives you the courage to dream again, to set new goals, and to step boldly into the future. With hope, you are never truly defeated because hope ensures that the story is not over. It is simply turning a new page. They may try to take everything, but they will never take your hope unless you let them. And if you hold on to it, that hope will carry you further than any material possession ever could. It will propel you toward a future that is brighter, stronger, and more fulfilling than anything you have known before. Let them take what they will, because with hope in your heart, you already have everything you need to rebuild and to rise again. He's there for you. Bad luck is at all meaning. When they try to take everything from you, they may believe they have won, but they have only fueled the fire within you. What they see as the end is merely a new beginning, a divine reset that allows you to rise stronger, wiser, and more focused. You are not defined by what you lose, but by what you refuse to surrender. Your resilience, your faith, your vision, and your hope. Every challenge, every setback, and every loss is a stepping stone toward the life you are destined to create. They may take what is in your hands, but they can never touch what is in your heart. And it is from this place, your heart, your spirit, that you will rebuild, reimagine, and emerge victorious. Every challenge will shape you and reimagine and emerge victorious. So stand firm in the face of loss. Let them strip away what they may, for what remains is the unshakable core of who you are. And from that core, you will not just recover, you will rise, thrive, and inspire others to do the same. The story is not over. It is only beginning. When someone repeatedly shows you who they are, believe them. There comes a time in life when grace must give way to wisdom, and the lessons of experience demand that we make a decisive choice. Relationships, whether personal or professional, are meant to be mutual, built on trust, respect, and shared values. But when someone continuously disregards your worth, takes your kindness for granted, and treats your boundaries as optional, they forfeit the privilege of your presence in their life. Understand this: you were not created to be a doormat for anyone's irresponsibility. God has placed value within you, a treasure that must not be squandered on those who are blind to its worth. The people who are meant to stay in your life will not have to be reminded over and over of your value. They will recognize it, honor it, and act accordingly. But those who treat you as expendable, as replaceable, have already revealed their inability to steward the blessing that your presence brings. The last chance they had with you was not just an opportunity, it was a test of their character, their intentions, and their capacity to honor what God has entrusted to them through you. And when they failed that test, it was not a failure of your worth, it was a revelation of their inability to rise to the standard required to walk alongside you. Do not feel guilty for walking away. Sometimes the greatest act of love you can give someone is the opportunity to miss you, to feel the absence of what they took for granted. In that absence, they may learn a lesson they were unwilling to accept while you were present. But your life must not be delayed or diminished waiting for someone else's growth. You have a purpose, a destiny, and a calling to fulfill. God removes people from your life for a reason. What they failed to protect, what they dismissed, will be a treasure for someone else to cherish. Trust in the wisdom of divine timing. The people who truly value you will never blow their chances, because they will recognize that you are not just a part of their life, you are a blessing in it. When someone consistently reveals their true character through their actions, believe what they show you, not what they say. Words can be manipulated, dressed up to sound sincere, but actions reflect the truth of a person's heart. If their actions contradict their promises, the disconnect is not accidental, it's intentional. Actions are a mirror of priorities, and when someone repeatedly disrespects you, disregards your boundaries, or minimizes your worth, they are demonstrating exactly how much they value you. To ignore those signs is to compromise the truth for the sake of an illusion. God has given you the ability to discern, to observe, and to learn from patterns of behavior. Trusting actions over words is not an act of harshness, but one of self-preservation and wisdom. A person who values you will not need endless reminders to honor you. Their actions will naturally align with their respect for you. To continually excuse behavior that undermines your dignity is to teach them that there are no consequences for their treatment of you. This is not about holding grudges or being unforgiving. It's about acknowledging reality and guarding your heart. If someone repeatedly shows you that they are not willing to rise to the level of respect and love you deserve, believe them the first time. Trusting actions ensures that you are not caught in a cycle of false hope, and it allows you to move forward without wasting time or energy on relationships that were never meant to grow. There is a difference between extending grace and enabling behavior that harms you. Grace is a gift, a reflection of love and understanding, but it is not meant to be endless when it is met with repeated disregard. Wisdom teaches us that while forgiveness is divine, allowing someone to continuously hurt you without accountability is not strength, it is a compromise of your God-given dignity. There comes a moment when the lessons of life and the guidance of the Spirit compel you to draw a line not out of bitterness, but out of love for yourself and respect for the purpose God has placed within you. When you extend grace to someone, you are giving them an opportunity to change, to grow, and to honor the relationship. But when that grace is met with indifference or abuse, wisdom must take its rightful place. To continue giving without boundaries is to deplete yourself for someone who has no intention of reciprocating or transforming. Wisdom calls you to recognize the point at which your kindness is being exploited and to act accordingly. This is not a failure of love, but an application of discernment. Grace is meant to build, not to break. Wisdom ensures that your heart remains intact and aligned with God's will. When you prioritize wisdom, you acknowledge that your time, energy, and emotions are sacred, and you protect them from being squandered on relationships that only drain and diminish you. Wisdom is the key to knowing when to stop giving chances and start guarding your peace. Relationships are designed to be a partnership, a mutual exchange of trust, respect, and shared values. They are not meant to be one-sided, where one person gives endlessly while the other takes without regard. A healthy relationship is built on balance. Each person brings something to the table, and both are committed to nurturing what they have together. When that balance is missing, when one person continually sacrifices while the other reaps the benefits without contributing, the relationship becomes unsustainable. Trust is the foundation of every meaningful connection. Without it, the relationship crumbles under the weight of doubt and uncertainty. Respect is what holds it together, ensuring that each person feels valued and heard. Shared values, on the other hand, give direction and purpose, aligning both individuals toward a common goal. When these elements are absent or ignored, the relationship is reduced to a hollow shell, a place where love and purpose cannot thrive. If you find yourself in a relationship where these principles are consistently disregarded, it is not your job to compensate for the other person's lack of effort. Relationships are not meant to be carried by one person alone. God designed them to reflect His love, which is always mutual, always honoring, and always purposeful. When you compromise on trust, respect, or shared values, you are not only damaging the relationship, you are also betraying the divine standard that God has set for your life. Refuse to settle for less than what aligns with your worth and your purpose. True relationships will not require you to abandon your principles or sacrifice your well-being. They will affirm your value and contribute to your growth. Anything less is not a relationship, it's a transaction, and you were created for more than that. You were not created to diminish yourself for the comfort of others. Your worth is non-negotiable, established by God and affirmed through the unique gifts, talents, and purpose He has placed within you. When someone fails to recognize or respect that worth, it is not a reflection of who you are, but of their inability to see clearly. Allowing someone to disregard your value is not humility, it is a disservice to the person God has made you to be. Your worth is not dependent on someone else's acknowledgement. It is intrinsic, unshakable, and rooted in the truth that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. When you tolerate behavior that diminishes your value, you send a message not only to them, but to yourself that your boundaries and dignity are flexible. But God did not design you to be a doormat for others' irresponsibility or carelessness. You are a vessel of His glory, meant to shine brightly and unapologetically. When someone repeatedly treats you as expendable or replaceable, they are revealing their inability to steward the blessing that your presence represents. You cannot force someone to see what they refuse to acknowledge. But you can choose to uphold your standards and walk away when your worth is being undermined. This is not pride, it is self-respect. It is an act of obedience to the God who calls you to honor yourself as He honors you. To compromise on your worth is to deny the very essence of who you are. You must guard your value fiercely, not out of fear, but out of a deep understanding that your life and purpose are too important to be wasted on those who cannot or will not appreciate them. True relationships, true partnerships will always honor your worth. They will recognize the treasure that you are and treat you accordingly. Anything less is not worthy of your time or your heart. The last chance someone has with you is not just an opportunity to change, it is a test. It's a test of their character, their understanding of your worth, and their ability to rise to the occasion of what a meaningful relationship truly demands. People will reveal their true selves through their actions, and every time they choose to disregard the value of your presence, they are failing that test. They are showing you, not in words, but in their behavior, where they truly stand and what they are truly capable of. This is not about giving someone multiple opportunities to make the same mistakes. It's about understanding that their failure to change after having been given the chance is not a reflection of your value, but of their limitations. When you repeatedly give someone a chance to prove themselves and they continue to fall short, it's no longer about the potential you see in them. It's about recognizing the reality of who they are and what they are unwilling to do. You are not meant to be a lesson for someone who refuses to learn. You are not meant to be a backup plan or an afterthought when everything else fails. You are a priority, and you deserve to be treated as such. Every time you extend grace to someone, you are giving them the chance to show they are capable of growth and respect. But if they continually fail to honor the opportunity, the lesson is no longer on you. It's on them. And at some point, you must stop holding on to what could be and accept what is. The person who cannot rise to the occasion of your value is not someone you need to invest your time, energy, or emotions in any longer. God will often allow you to see these patterns not to punish you, but to give you the wisdom to make a choice. That final chance is often the moment when God is calling you to recognize that it is not your job to fix someone else. Your role is to protect your heart, your peace, and your purpose. If they miss the opportunity to honor you, that is their loss, not yours. It's their lesson to learn, and it's your opportunity to walk away knowing that you gave them the chance they deserved. When you finally accept that, you open yourself up to new opportunities, new relationships, and the fullness of your own potential. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone is to step away and give them the space to feel the absence of what they once took for granted. We often try to hold on, thinking that if we just stay a little longer, if we just give one more chance, something will change. But in reality, sometimes the best way to help someone grow is to let them experience the consequences of their actions. When you continue to tolerate disrespect, neglect, or dishonor, you are not helping the other person. You are enabling them to continue in the same destructive patterns. Walking away does not mean you are giving up on them. It means you are giving them the opportunity to reflect on their choices. People often do not appreciate what they have until it is no longer there. When you step back, you create the space for them to realize what they've lost, what they could have had, and what they failed to value. In that absence, they may be forced to confront their own behavior, their own shortcomings, and the truth of what they have done. This is not a vindictive act. It is an act of self-respect and self-preservation, but it also serves as a lesson to them, one they may need in order to grow. There is a tendency, especially when we care deeply for someone, to feel that we must always be there, to never let them experience the pain of losing us. But this only perpetuates a cycle of dependence and dysfunction. Sometimes it is only when we walk away that they are forced to confront the reality of their actions. And when they do, they may realize that they have let go of something valuable, something irreplaceable. Your presence in their life should not be something they take for granted. When they feel the sting of that absence, it might be the catalyst they need to wake up and change. Letting go is not about abandoning the relationship. It's about shifting the dynamic so that the other person has to face their own behavior. It's about creating a space where they can no longer hide behind your tolerance, behind your willingness to keep giving. Sometimes the most powerful message you can send is the one that comes from your absence. And while it might be painful in the short term, it has the potential to bring growth and clarity to both you and them. It allows you to reclaim your peace, your dignity, and your purpose while also giving them the opportunity to learn, change, and perhaps in time recognize the value of what they once had. There is a powerful truth that many fail to grasp until they experience the weight of its reality. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. Some people are placed in your life for a season to teach you valuable lessons, to challenge you, and to help shape your growth. But the nature of those relationships is not permanent. And the moment you begin to realize that, you unlock a deeper understanding of your own journey. Not every relationship, no matter how deep or significant it may feel at the time, is destined to last. Some people come into your life with a purpose, whether it's to teach you boundaries, self-worth, or the importance of walking away from what doesn't serve you. When their role is completed, when they have fulfilled the purpose God intended for them in your life, it is often necessary to release them, not out of bitterness or anger, but out of respect for the divine timing and order in your life. People will enter your life with a promise of companionship, understanding, or even love, but the truth is not all of them are equipped to remain. As you grow and evolve, so must the relationships around you. If someone refuses to grow alongside you, if they refuse to honor your boundaries, your worth, and your purpose, then their place in your life has come to an end. The moment you recognize that someone no longer aligns with the direction in which God is leading you, you must act in obedience to the call of self-preservation and spiritual growth. Holding on to what is no longer meant for you only keeps you stagnant and prevents you from moving into the fullness of your purpose. Sometimes we hold on to people because we fear the void their absence might create, or we believe that if we let them go, we will never find someone better, or that we will be alone. But this fear is a lie. God does not create us for loneliness. He created us for relationship, for connections that nourish, uplift, and propel us toward our purpose. When one relationship ends, another opportunity opens up, one that may better align with who you are becoming and where God is taking you. The moment you accept that some people are only meant to be in your life for a certain period, you free yourself from the burden of trying to make something work that was never meant to last. You no longer fight to keep something alive when it has already served its purpose. Instead, you trust that God's plan is bigger than your understanding and that He will bring the right people into your life when the time is right. Releasing those who are not meant to stay is an act of faith, trusting that what is for you will not pass you by and that your path is being guided by a higher power who knows what you need far better than you do. It's important to realize that when people miss their last chance with you, it's not always about them being bad or malicious. It's about their inability to align with your values, your purpose, and the standards that you've set for your life. We often place the blame on ourselves when relationships end, questioning if we did something wrong or if we could have done more to save it. But in reality, sometimes people simply aren't equipped to meet the level of commitment, integrity, and love that you need. They may not have the emotional maturity, the self-awareness, or the ability to treat you the way you deserve to be treated. This is not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their limitations. Each person is on their own journey, and not everyone is in the same place of growth or understanding. When you recognize that someone is consistently unable to meet your needs, it's not because you are asking for too much, it's because they are not capable of giving what you require. This doesn't make them bad people. It simply means they are not the right fit for your life. It's crucial to understand that there is nothing wrong with demanding the best for yourself. God did not create you to accept less than you deserve. You were not made to settle or to lower your standards for the comfort of others. When someone repeatedly fails to live up to your standards, it's a clear sign that their role in your life is coming to an end. The ability to recognize when someone is not right for you is an act of strength, not weakness. It requires self-awareness, courage, and the wisdom to see beyond the emotions of the moment. It's easy to hold on when you feel a sense of obligation or attachment, but true strength lies in your ability to walk away when it becomes clear that the relationship is no longer serving its intended purpose. God will not bring someone into your life who will cause you to compromise your core values, your peace, or your destiny. If someone repeatedly fails to meet your standards, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a warning, a sign that it's time to move forward and make room for people who are more aligned with the future you are meant to create. You must understand that holding on to someone who cannot rise to the occasion doesn't make you a savior, it makes you an enabler. You are not responsible for fixing others, nor should you carry the burden of their shortcomings. God has equipped you to walk in your purpose and fulfill your destiny. And in order to do that, you need to surround yourself with people who will support and uplift you, not hinder or diminish your journey. When someone fails to honor the opportunity to be in your life, it's not a loss for you. It's a wake-up call for them, a chance for them to look within and examine why they couldn't step up to the level of commitment and respect you deserve. Your life is not meant to be spent trying to change or fix people. You were created to be free, to grow, and to live a life full of purpose and fulfillment. Don't waste time on people who can't meet you where you are. Trust that God will guide you to those who are meant to walk with you, those who will honor your worth, and those who will understand that relationships are about mutual growth and respect. The ones who couldn't rise to the occasion are simply being moved out of the way, making space for the people who will. When someone blows their last chance with you, it is often a pivotal moment of clarity. You must understand that this is not a time to mourn or lament over what could have been, but a time to recognize the divine wisdom at work. Sometimes people are allowed into our lives to help us grow, to challenge us, and to guide us toward greater clarity of who we are and what we truly deserve. And when they fail to honor the opportunity we give them, it's not a sign of failure on our part, but rather an opportunity for us to step into the fullness of what God has been preparing us for. God's plan for you is far greater than what you can see with your natural eyes. He does not want you to settle for less than what He has designed for you. When someone consistently misses their chance with you, it is not only their loss, but also a redirection toward the greatness that is ahead of you. God will not let you stay stuck in relationships that hinder your progress or drag you back to a place of pain, confusion, or unfulfilled potential. The moment someone fails to rise to the occasion and meet your standards, it's an opportunity for you to embrace the space that is being created for better things to come. You may not fully understand it in the moment, but that empty space is not a void. It is God's way of clearing the path for something new. When you release what no longer serves you, you open the door to fresh possibilities, new relationships, and experiences that align with the person you are becoming. The fact that someone couldn't rise to the occasion means that they were never meant to accompany you on your journey. They were not designed to share in your growth, your purpose, or your future. This moment is also a reflection of your own growth. It shows that you are no longer willing to accept less than you deserve. You've reached a level of maturity where you are not afraid to stand firm in your worth, even if it means walking away from someone or something you once thought was important. Your value is not determined by what others think of you, and it is certainly not tied to whether or not someone chooses to treat you with respect. Your worth is inherent, given to you by God, and it does not change based on the actions of others. When someone misses their last chance with you, it is a sign of self-love and respect. It means you have come to understand that you cannot force someone to recognize your worth, and you cannot make someone change who they are. This is not about them, it's about your journey, your destiny, and the life you are meant to create. If someone cannot meet you at the level of respect, loyalty, and love that you require, then they were never meant to share in your future. God will always remove the wrong people so that the right ones can enter at the right time. You must trust that when one door closes, another better one is waiting for you, and the people who will truly value you are just around the corner. It's vital to embrace this understanding and accept it as part of the process of your growth. As you let go of the people who fail to see your worth, you allow space for relationships that are rooted in mutual respect, honor, and love. Every time someone misses their last chance, it is not only a step forward for you, but a step into your divine destiny. And while it may seem painful or difficult in the moment, trust that it is God's way of guiding you towards something greater than you could ever imagine. When you finally reach the point where someone has missed their last chance with you, it's an opportunity for profound reflection and realization. You've reached a level of clarity where you understand that not everyone is meant to accompany you on your journey, and not everyone is entitled to your time, your love, or your attention. This moment marks a significant turning point in your life, a shift from tolerating people who do not value you to fully embracing the truth that your worth is non-negotiable. The reason they missed their last chance is because despite your efforts, they were unable or unwilling to see you for who you truly are. And when that happens, you must recognize that this is not a loss, but a victory for your self-respect, your peace of mind, and your future. Sometimes we hold on to people out of a deep sense of hope, believing that if we give them one more chance, if we are patient just a little bit longer, they will finally change and things will get better. But the reality is that change only happens when someone is willing to put in the work to transform. It does not happen just because you want it to. And the truth is, people will only change when they realize they need to, not when you hope they will. When someone misses their last chance with you, it's a sign that they have made a choice, whether conscious or unconscious, to remain in their current state, and that is a decision they must live with. You see, it's not about you being too demanding or too difficult to please. It's not about you asking for too much or expecting something unreasonable. It's about you being clear on what you need in order to thrive, grow, and continue on your path toward your purpose. You must understand that God has a plan for you, and that plan requires certain people to be in your life, people who will encourage you, support you, and elevate you to the next level. When someone is unable or unwilling to show up in that way, they are not just letting you down, they are rejecting the opportunity to be part of your divine plan. When they miss their last chance, it's not the end of your story, it's just the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. In fact, it is the very thing that creates space for what is better and more aligned with your path. God does not allow anyone to stay in your life if they are not meant to help you grow and fulfill your purpose. The moment someone proves they cannot meet you where you are or where you are headed, God is clearing them out of the way so that you can move forward. In that moment of release, you step into your power. You step into a new phase of your journey where you know that your time, energy, and love are precious, and you will no longer waste them on people who cannot appreciate them. You learn the importance of setting boundaries, of not settling for less, and of having the courage to let go when necessary. Every time you let go of someone who cannot rise to the occasion, you create space for the right people to enter, people who will see you for who you are, who will respect you, and who will honor your value. It's also important to recognize that letting someone miss their last chance with you is an act of deep self-love and self-respect. It says to the world that you will not accept anything less than what you deserve. It says that you value yourself enough to walk away from situations, relationships, or circumstances that do not align with your highest good. It is an empowering moment, a declaration that you understand your worth, and you will not allow anyone to treat you as less than that. Finally, when someone misses their last chance with you, trust that it is part of God's plan. It is God's way of moving people out of your life to make room for what is greater. He knows what you need, and He will always provide. If someone is no longer meant to be part of your journey, you must trust that God will bring someone better, someone more aligned with your purpose and values. It may not be easy to see in the moment, but rest assured, the end of one chapter is always the beginning of something new and better. In conclusion, when someone blows their last chance with you, it is not the end of your story, but rather the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where you embrace your worth, set boundaries, and move forward toward your divine destiny. This moment is not a reflection of failure, but a sign of growth and strength. It's a reminder that you deserve relationships that honor your value, respect your time, and elevate you to your highest potential. Trust that when God clears people from your life, He is making room for better, more aligned connections, those who will walk with you toward the future He has designed for you. Embrace this moment of release with confidence and faith, knowing that what is ahead is far greater than what has been left behind. The best is yet to come. There are moments in life when you realize that your absence is more powerful than your presence. It's not always evident right away, but there are people in your life who may not have recognized your value until you were no longer there. They might have taken you for granted, dismissing the impact you had on their lives. But now, with your absence, they are feeling a void that cannot be filled. Let me tell you this, they are missing you. It's in the quiet moments, in the spaces where your voice used to echo. It's in the gaps where your energy used to fill the room. They are now starting to feel the weight of what they lost when they overlooked you, when they mistreated you, or when they underestimated your worth. And as much as they may try to go on with life, something deep inside them knows that they are incomplete without you. What you must understand is that your absence reveals your significance. There is no need to chase after those who did not recognize your worth when you were present. You don't need to explain yourself or prove anything to anyone. Sometimes it's your absence that speaks louder than any words you could ever say. It's in the moments they are alone, when they reflect on what once was, that they feel the true weight of what they've lost. People come and go in life, but when you are truly valuable, your absence has a lasting impact. It is the people who are not meant for your future, who fail to see the treasure you are, that will ultimately feel the sting of your departure. And while they may not admit it, deep down, They know that they took for granted the very presence they once had. So what do you do in this moment? You stand firm in your worth. You don't allow the absence to diminish you, but rather use it as a confirmation of your greatness. You are not here to be constantly available to those who can't appreciate you. Your value is not defined by anyone's recognition or validation. It is in your silence that you will find your strength. Let them feel the impact of your absence, for it will make them realize what they had before it was too late. As you walk forward, remember this truth. When people fail to recognize the treasure that is you, your absence will be a reminder that some things are irreplaceable. And while they may never openly admit it, deep inside, they will know that they are missing something they can never get back. There are times in life when you don't realize the true power of your absence until it's felt. When you're present, you bring your energy, your thoughts, and your actions into the spaces you occupy. But it's only when you step away that people start to understand just how much you contributed to their lives. Your absence doesn't just leave an empty space. It leaves a void, an undeniable gap that cannot be filled by anyone else. It's in this absence that your value becomes clearer. Often, people don't notice how much they rely on you or how deeply your presence impacts their lives until you're no longer there. When you're around, you're doing things, saying things, sharing your wisdom, your laughter, your presence. And sometimes it goes unnoticed. But when you're gone, they realize the difference. They realize how much they miss your voice, your advice, the way you made them feel seen or heard, the way you made their world brighter or more grounded. Your absence, in a strange and profound way, makes others reflect on what they took for granted. Suddenly, the things you did every day, whether big or small, become the things they wish they had appreciated more. They begin to notice how much easier it was with you around, how much more support they had, how much better life seemed when you were present in their lives. But the beauty in this is that your absence confirms your worth. It's not about needing to be needed or about seeking validation. Your absence is the proof of what they lost, the undeniable reminder that you made a difference. It's in these moments that they will realize just how much you meant to them, even if they never truly recognized it while you were there. Your absence doesn't diminish you. It reveals the importance you held in their life. When you're constantly present in someone's life, it can be easy for them to take you for granted. Your kindness, your support, your willingness to be there for them in moments of need. These things can become so familiar that they lose their value. People may begin to expect your presence, your help, or your understanding without ever acknowledging the weight of what you offer. But when you step back, when you remove yourself from the equation, that's when the truth becomes undeniable. They suddenly realize how much they depended on you, even though they didn't show it while you were there. This is a painful but powerful truth. It's in your absence that they begin to see the full scope of your impact on their lives. They notice the small things, the encouragement you gave, the way you helped them stay grounded, the love you offered unconditionally, and the wisdom you shared in moments of uncertainty. These were all things they may have never fully recognized or appreciated until it was too late. The absence of those things creates a vacuum, a quiet reminder of what's missing. You see, people don't always recognize the treasure they have until it's gone. When you're around, you're like a constant presence, a steady force that subtly shapes their reality. They might not thank you every time. They might not even acknowledge the way you changed their lives. But your absence makes them feel the void. In the silence follows your departure, they become painfully aware of the spaces you used to fill, of the things that you used to rely on, and of the comfort they once took for granted. It's human nature to fail to appreciate something until it's gone. But in your absence, they will learn the hard way that what they had was rare, valuable, and irreplaceable. What was once familiar to them, what they might have considered normal or expected, becomes something they yearn for once they no longer have it. It is only in the absence that the value of your presence is truly revealed to them. There's a profound power in silence, especially when it follows your absence. It's not always the loudest voices or the most noticeable actions that have the greatest impact. It's the quiet moments, the ones where nothing is being said, where nothing is happening, that reveal the true depth of a person's significance. When you are present, people can easily become accustomed to your voice, your opinions, your actions. But when you step away, the void of your presence begins to speak volumes. The silence becomes deafening. And that is when the weight of your absence truly settles in. People often don't recognize how much they rely on you until they experience the silence that follows. The empty space where your energy used to be, whether it was your laughter, your comforting words, or the simple way you made the room feel alive, begins to echo. In that silence, they have no choice but to confront the emptiness you've left behind. They are forced to face the reality of what was once there, but now isn't. It's a painful reminder that something valuable has been taken away, and it's not something that can easily be replaced. The impact of your absence isn't always obvious at first. It's not immediately felt in loud, dramatic ways, but in the subtle things. It's the moments when they want to share something important, but realize you're not there to listen. It's the times when they feel a sense of loneliness that they hadn't experienced before because your presence used to fill the space. It's in those quiet, solitary moments that they come to realize just how much you brought to their lives, how much of their emotional and mental landscape was shaped by your presence. In fact, sometimes the silence is so loud that it forces them to reflect. It forces them to remember the conversations you had, the support you gave, the care you offered. And it's in those moments of reflection that they truly understand what they've lost. Your absence becomes the message, louder than any words you could ever say, clearer than any gesture you could ever make. It speaks to them in ways that words never could, drawing their attention to the very things they didn't fully appreciate when you were there. So in your absence, it is the silence that becomes the loudest and most powerful communicator. It reminds them of what they had, and it makes them realize the significance of what they failed to see before. The impact of your absence is felt deeply, not because of the things you did, but because of the absence of the very presence that made a difference in their lives. It's a truth that often takes time to surface, but when it does, it leaves a lasting impression that can never be undone. When you remove yourself from a situation, the effect of your absence goes far beyond just the physical space you leave behind. People often don't realize the full extent of their reliance on you until they are forced to live without it. It's not just about missing your company. It's about feeling the void in their daily lives, the gaps that you once filled so naturally, so consistently. They begin to notice how much easier things were when you were there, how much more balanced their lives felt because of your presence. And now, with you gone, they are struggling to fill those gaps. They may not admit it openly, but the truth is, they feel the weight of what is missing. It might start small, like a decision they can't make because they no longer have your guidance, or an emotion they can't process because they don't have your listening ear. It's in the moments where they realize that no one else quite understands them the way you did, that no one else has the patience or the insight to truly help them navigate their struggles. They feel it in the moments when they need to talk, but you're no longer there to listen. And the silence is louder than any words could ever be. This absence creates a deep sense of longing, a recognition that life was somehow more complete when you were part of it. The spaces you once filled are now reminders of what they took for granted. They will begin to miss your consistency, the way you showed up when they needed someone, the way you provided stability in moments of uncertainty. They may have overlooked how often you were the one who helped them make sense of the world. And now with that guidance gone, they realize how hard it is to find someone who can offer the same. Is more than just the emotional support you provided. It's the tangible ways you made their lives easier. It's the little things, the way you helped them make decisions, the way you encouraged them when they felt defeated, the way you supported them without question. These are the things that begin to surface once you're no longer there to offer them. They are forced to deal with the challenges they once shared with you, and they will quickly discover that handling them alone is far more difficult than they ever anticipated. The truth is, your absence doesn't just impact them emotionally, it shakes them on a deeper level. It makes them question how they ever managed without you, and it forces them to confront the reality that they didn't truly appreciate what you brought to their lives until it was no longer there. This is the power of your absence. It serves as a stark reminder of your value, not just to them, but to the rhythm of their daily existence. They begin to see how much you enriched their lives, how much smoother things went when you were present, and how much more difficult it is now that you're gone. You don't need to chase after anyone's recognition or validation to understand your worth. The truth of your value is not determined by someone else's acknowledgement, nor is it reliant on their understanding of who you are or what you bring to the table. Sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is by simply stepping back and allowing your absence to speak for you. When people take you for granted, when they fail to appreciate the full scope of what you contribute to their lives, stepping away is not a sign of defeat. It's a declaration that you know your worth, whether or not they do. You don't need to explain yourself, nor do you need to beg for their attention or validation. Your worth is not something that can be measured by someone else's perspective. When you leave, when you stop being the person who constantly gives, supports, or makes things easier for others, your absence begins to do the talking. It's in the emptiness they now feel that your value is revealed. It's in the silence, the missing presence, that they begin to recognize how much you truly added to their life. What you must understand is that when someone fails to see your worth, it doesn't diminish who you are. It doesn't reduce the impact you had, nor does it lessen the importance of what you bring into the world. People will always fail to see what they don't appreciate until it's no longer available to them. But your absence, your decision to step away from their life, is a powerful confirmation that you understand the significance of what you contribute. You do not need to beg for validation or prove that you deserve to be valued. Your absence speaks volumes more than any words you could say to make them understand. People who fail to appreciate you will eventually come to understand the emptiness of their mistake, but you must never place your worth in the hands of others. They may not recognize it now, but that's not your burden to bear. What matters is that you have come to understand your own value, and that in itself is enough. The lesson for them will come in the form of your absence, and while they may not admit it, they will feel the truth of what they lost in ways they can't ignore. You are not here to chase after those who can't see your worth. You are here to honor your own value, to stand firm in the understanding that you are worthy of respect, love, and appreciation. And when others don't see that, it is not a reflection of who you are, it's a reflection of where they are in their understanding of the world. Your worth will always be constant, whether they see it or not. And sometimes stepping away is the best way to allow them to realize just how much they lost. When you're around, people often become so accustomed to your presence that they fail to grasp the depth of the support you provide. You are a pillar of strength, someone who shows up not just in the good times, but also in the moments when others need guidance, understanding, or encouragement. But when you step back, when you withdraw your energy and your presence, it forces people to confront the reality that they no longer have that constant source of stability in their lives. The absence of your unwavering support can be overwhelming because they now realize how much they leaned on you, how much they took for granted. In the rush of daily life, many fail to recognize how much of their emotional, mental, or even physical well-being was influenced by your consistent presence. You were always there to listen, to give advice, to help them work through challenges. You were the person they turned to when they were uncertain or when they needed a reminder of their own strength. Your presence was a comfort, a reminder that they weren't facing the world alone. But now that you're gone, that safety net is no longer there. They feel the weight of their decisions, the pressure of facing challenges without your support. This void, this absence of your encouragement, has a ripple effect. It's not just about missing the conversations you had or the advice you gave. It's about the emotional toll of no longer having that source of reassurance. The absence of someone who reminded them of their worth when they didn't believe it themselves. They're left to face the world on their own, without the gentle push you gave them when they were unsure, without the way you uplifted them when they felt defeated. And it's not just emotional support that's missing. Your absence reveals how much of the structure of their lives you were a part of. When you were present, you helped hold things together. You offered solutions. You helped them make sense of complex situations. You provided a listening ear when they needed it most. Now, they're left trying to piece together their own understanding of their world without the clarity you once brought. The simple tasks that used to feel manageable become overwhelming when you're not there to help guide them. And the challenges they once faced with confidence now seem insurmountable without your steady presence beside them. What's more, the absence of your support makes them realize just how much they relied on it for their sense of security. They took for granted the way you helped them navigate uncertainty, the way you steadied them when the world felt too chaotic. Now they're left to face those same challenges alone, and the weight of it all becomes unbearable. They're forced to confront the reality that they are no longer as strong as they once were because your support has been removed from the equation. Your absence serves as a reminder of just how much you were holding up, just how much you were stabilizing in their lives. The impact of your presence isn't always seen in the moment, but it becomes painfully clear when you're gone. The stability you brought, the unwavering presence you offered, is something they can no longer take for granted. And as they struggle to fill that gap, they will begin to understand the true magnitude of what they lost and how much they need you. When you leave, people are forced to reflect on the times they took you for granted, the times they didn't appreciate your value while you were present. Sometimes it's easy for others to overlook the consistency and reliability you offered because it became a part of the background, something they didn't have to think twice about. You were always there, whether it was providing advice, showing up for important moments, or simply offering your presence as a source of comfort. But once you're gone, that constant presence becomes a void that can't easily be filled. And the realization sets in. They've lost something that they didn't fully appreciate while it was there. It's only in your absence that they begin to see how much you truly brought to the table, how much your actions, your words, your very being impacted their lives. The gap left by your absence isn't just a void in the physical sense, it's an emotional and psychological gap as well. People begin to feel the loss in ways they never expected. They realize that the advice you gave wasn't just helpful, it was often the clarity they needed to make decisions, the insight that helped them avoid mistakes. They begin to understand that the small acts of kindness, the way you supported them without asking for anything in return, were things they took for granted because they were so accustomed to having them around. Now, with you no longer part of their daily lives, they are left to handle challenges on their own. And they realize how much harder it is without your influence. The comforting words you used to offer seem like a distant memory. And in their moments of struggle, they long for that sense of reassurance you once provided. It's in those moments that the truth hits them. They had a steady source of wisdom and encouragement in you, but they never truly valued it until it was gone. They may also start to question their own actions. Did they take you for granted? Did they fail to recognize the gift of your presence? Did they miss the countless times you showed up for them even when they didn't ask for it? The absence of that consistency forces them to reflect on what they had. And it's a painful realization that for all the time they had with you, they didn't fully understand the significance of what you brought into their lives. They failed to see how you made things easier, how you brought joy, clarity, and peace into their world. It's not always intentional. Sometimes people become so used to the comfort of someone's presence that they fail to notice how deeply it shapes their world. But when that presence is removed, the ripple effect is undeniable. People are left to grapple with the emptiness you've left behind, and as they do, they come to understand just how much they were benefiting from your influence, whether it was through your wisdom, your support, or the way you made their lives better just by being part of it. Your absence forces them to confront the reality that they had something truly valuable, and only now, in the silence, can they fully appreciate what they lost. As time goes by, people often find themselves caught up in the busy rhythm of life, and they forget to show appreciation for those who truly make a difference. They may take for granted the small things you do, the way you listen, the way you give advice, or simply the way your presence made them feel understood and valued. But when you're no longer around to provide that presence, to offer that steady support, they begin to recognize the depth of the void you've left. They will start to miss the things they never truly acknowledged. It's not just the big moments, but the everyday things. The way you would check in on them, the way you'd offer a word of encouragement when they were struggling, or the way you'd offer a listening ear without judgment. You may have given without expectation, by showing up, being there for them in ways that were natural to you, but often unseen by others. But now that you're no longer part of their daily lives, they begin to see that those small gestures meant more than they realized. They begin to miss your consistency, the way you could always be relied upon to show up, to offer a word of support, to provide perspective. What they once thought was a given, something they could always count on, now becomes something they long for. They begin to notice the absence in the smallest ways. The texts you used to send, the phone calls you made just to check in, the quiet support you offered in difficult times. All of these things now echo loudly in their absence. When you're no longer around, people often find themselves asking, where's the support I once had? Who do I turn to for advice now? Who's going to help me process my thoughts or be there to guide me through a tough time? In those moments, they realize the depth of what you offered. They begin to see that you weren't just someone who showed up when things were good, but you were a constant, someone who made them feel heard and understood, no matter the circumstance. What's most profound is that often people don't miss something until it's gone. They may not have recognized how much you provided until they were left with the weight of having to do things on their own. They may have overlooked the ways you helped them find clarity in their lives, the way you were a source of wisdom and guidance. But when your presence is no longer there to offer that, they are left to navigate the world on their own. And the realization hits them hard. You were the one who helped them stay grounded, who helped them see things more clearly when their minds were clouded with doubt or uncertainty. Your absence forces them to look inward and question how they managed without you for so long. The impact you had on their lives becomes undeniable once you're not around to fill those spaces anymore. People who once took you for granted will now begin to understand how essential you were to the fabric of their daily lives. And though they may not say it, they are deeply affected by the absence of your presence, because they have come to realize that the things you offered, your time, your wisdom, your care, were not just helpful, they were irreplaceable. You brought a sense of balance, a sense of assurance, and a unique perspective that no one else could replicate. The spaces you left behind become not only a reminder of what was, but also a painful acknowledgement of how much you truly contributed to their world. When you leave, people find themselves grappling with the sudden responsibility of facing the challenges they once shared with you. You were not just a passive observer in their lives. You were an active participant in helping them navigate through difficulties. You provided clarity when things were uncertain. You offered advice when they were unsure. And your presence was a calming force in the midst of chaos. But once you're gone, they are left with the burden of figuring out how to handle life without that guiding presence. The challenges they once thought they could tackle together now seem daunting, and they are forced to face them on their own. The void you leave behind is not just emotional, but practical. Many times it is the small things that you did, the advice you gave, the solutions you offered, the perspective you provided that made a difference in the ability to handle their lives. Without your voice guiding them, they now have to rely on their own judgment. What seemed like minor decisions before, like how to approach a problem, how to navigate conflict, or how to keep going when things get tough, now feel insurmountable. They begin to realize that the support and the direction you provided were not just helpful, they were foundational. Without it, they feel like they're stumbling in the dark, trying to figure out which way to go. Moreover, people who once had you by their side for reassurance now face a reality where they must trust their own instincts in situations where they once sought your input. And while this might seem like an opportunity for growth or independence, it's also a reminder of how much easier their lives were with you there. The absence of your steady guidance highlights just how much of their confidence and clarity came from your wisdom, your perspective, and the way you helped them make sense of things. They will begin to recognize that they were not as self-reliant as they thought. They were leaning on you, whether they realized it or not. There is also the realization that without you, they may not have the same emotional support system in place. You weren't just a problem solver. You were the one who gave them the courage to face challenges with a sense of purpose. You helped them believe in their own strength. And when they no longer have you around, they start questioning their own capabilities. What was once a partnership, a collaboration of minds, hearts, and efforts, has now become a solitary journey, and it's much harder without the encouragement you provided. Even if they try to fill the gaps with others, no one will offer the same kind of support you did. You were unique in your ability to understand them, to offer practical advice with compassion, and to offer a sense of safety and stability that no one else could replicate. Now they are left to deal with the reality that the road ahead feels much longer and more uncertain without you walking beside them. This burden of facing the world alone is not just about handling problems in the moment. It's about the long-term impact of your absence. People start to recognize how much you were there for the long haul, how much you helped them plan, prepare, and endure through difficult times. Now that they are on their own, they may feel less equipped to face the future. And the weight of that realization becomes almost unbearable. The absence of your guidance, support, and love forces them to reckon with the fact that they no longer have someone who has been with them every step of the way. They have to build new ways of handling life. And in the process, they'll realize that the strength and stability they once took for granted were all because of you. As you step out of their lives, people may not just miss you in the moment, they begin to miss the future that could have been. They will start to realize that in your absence, the potential for growth and the possibilities that were once within reach now seem distant and uncertain. You weren't just someone who walked beside them in the present, but you were a part of their vision for the future. You helped them see what they were capable of, and together you discussed dreams, plans, and aspirations. The future was filled with potential because they believed that with you by their side, anything was possible. But now, without you, they feel a loss of direction, as though a vital part of their dreams has been stripped away. The conversations you had about what was next, the plans, the goals, the steps they were ready to take are now echoes in their mind, replaced by profound silence. The excitement of a shared vision fades into uncertainty. They realize that in your absence, the ideas they had for the future seem less clear, and their motivation to push forward has dimmed. You were the one who inspired them to reach higher, to strive for more, to think beyond the limitations they placed on themselves. But now, without you, they are left to navigate those same paths alone, unsure of whether they have the strength to continue pursuing both dreams. This is not just about missing your presence in their immediate circle. It's about recognizing that you were a part of their potential. The encouragement you provided was like fuel to their ambitions. When you were around, they had someone who believed in them, someone who held the vision when they couldn't see it for themselves. They felt like they had a partner in their journey, someone who would help them overcome obstacles, celebrate victories, and keep them grounded during failures. Your absence is felt not just because of what you did in the present, but because you were a cornerstone in their vision of the future. The absence of that partnership creates a sense of isolation. The dreams they once shared with you now feel more like distant, unattainable goals. The future they envisioned no longer feels as promising, and the excitement they once had for what was to come starts to wane. People often fail to realize how much someone else's belief in their potential can drive them forward. But when you are no longer there to encourage them, to push them to reach for their dreams, they begin to lose sight of what could have been. They begin to ask themselves if they will ever get back to the place where their dreams felt so real. This loss isn't just about the passing of time. It's about the realization that in your absence, the light of possibility that once illuminated the path forward is now dimmed. They may try to pick up the pieces of their dreams and move forward, but the energy and enthusiasm that once existed is now gone. They'll wonder if they can ever find that same drive, that same spark to push them into the future they had once dreamed of with you. Your absence reminds them that they were not just missing someone who was part of their present, but someone who held a place in their future. The possibilities that once seemed endless are now clouded with doubt and uncertainty. And though they may try to rebuild that vision on their own, they will always be reminded of the dream that was and could have been much greater with you by their side. In the end, the absence of someone who truly mattered in your life is not just felt in the present, but it echoes through the future. People may not realize the depth of your impact until you're no longer there, and when that happens, they will experience a void that is hard to fill. It is in your absence that they come to understand the importance of the role you played. not just as a companion or friend, but as a source of strength, guidance, and inspiration. They will recognize that you weren't just someone who existed in their life for a moment, but someone who shaped their past, their present, and the very future they once dreamed of. The realization that your absence is a profound loss will hit them in ways they never expected. They will miss the way you guided them, believed in them, and helped them navigate their world. And while time will help heal some of that pain, they will never forget the unique place you held in their lives. Your absence will remind them that the most valuable things are often those that are taken for granted until they are no longer there.